Welcome, 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 everyone, to the Women's Empower Network. I have another lovely guest with us today, Lilianna, and I can't wait for her to share her story, her journey with us, and how she came to be doing what she's doing today. So, Lilianna, would you please share your journey with us?
Well, first of all, thank you so very much for having invited me. I'm really thrilled. I'm sorry, this should have turned the communication off. I'll ruin it right now. I apologize. Um, I'm really thrilled, and thank you so very much. Okay, what let me here? What will let me here in this country, or will let me here in? So let's do in steps. I was born and raised in Italy. I came as a tourist and when I was 24, and I liked it, but unfortunately my visa was only for 3 months. So I had to go back and wait so many months and then come back. And then I did it again and I did it again. I did it again. So finally I said, I'm going to apply for a green card so I can become legal and find a job because I like that. I like I like some of the freedoms here that we didn't have in Italy at that time. So it was a costly process, but feasible. It's easier now, but back then it was a little bit harder because I did not have any immediate family here. So, but I did it. And the attorney was so expensive that I was paying $20 a month. He was so nice to accept $20 a month. Well, anyhow, 3 months later, I met my husband he's from here, United States, and we got married. So I could have saved all that money.
Of course.
anyhow, we had 2 children, and then about 4 or 5 years into the marriage, I got tired of being a housewife, and I wanted to become independent. I told myself, that's why I came to the United States, because I didn't work in Italy. I wanted to become independent. So we took a chance and bought a pizzeria, and we started working it ourselves, my husband and I, and the 2 little children. So it was a joint venture. And that was 1981, where the economy was really, the Gulf War and all that stuff. And there was no way we could make a living. So I had to revamp the place, reinvent the location, and I told myself I'm going to turn into a fine dining instead of a pizza, because pizza you can serve, 8 people with one pizza, right? And it doesn't pay the bills. Back then it did not. So I started introducing recipes and start creating little bit at a time. The 4 of us is a family operation. Start creating memories for our customers. So I completely revamped the whole thing. And that was my first adventure out of desperation let's try something different in order to say we didn't fall on our face. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of businesses that fail, especially the first few years. So it was like I was learning English with my children because I studied French in school and I ended up in the United States, not in France, even though I lived there for a short while. So, well, anyway, I learned pretty good. And the place got to be a fine dining, just like I dreamed, just like I wanted. And when about 36, 37 years later, we got a good living with that. When finally I was able to sell it in 2020, 11 days before the pandemic was declared, I was
Wow.
able to sell it for cash. Was number 1 in the area, number 3 in the county. And number 9 in Michigan at a 300, over 300 Italian restaurants. So I did a pretty good job at doing that, but I wanted something different. You know, I'm a creator, I'm really creative. So I wanted to try something different. So one day I'm scrolling Facebook, it was 2018, and there was a pay ad by Bob Proctor. And there was goal achieving. So I signed up for the webinar, which was, I think it was on a Monday, which we had Monday off. We were working owners all along, and that's what people liked. So I signed up for that, and I was so impressed by Bob Proctor and the goal achieving webinar that I signed up for his coaching. So, you know, the process was, you know, you tell me what you want, I'll show you how to get it. And that's part of my business now. You know, it's called Recipe for Success. Recipe because connected to the restaurant, right? For years, I managed new recipes. Well, anyway, so Bob Proctor, the process was, you know, you figured out what you really, really want, your desire, and I'll show you how to get it. So what did I really, really want? Was I wanted to sell the restaurant. I want to try a new life. I want to go live in Italy 6 months. I want to live in Florida 6 months. I had enough of winter in Michigan. So, and then I wanted to pay for my house. I wanted to buy a house here. I wanted to do this. So he said, you know, so everything is depending upon selling the restaurant, right? I said, yes. He said, okay, so the goal, the specific number 1 goal is to sell the restaurant, right? I said, yes, but it's one condition. I want to sell for cash because that cash is what's going to, you know, create the other stuff. Okay, so every week I will do the homework, and then every week I will send in my work, and they will check and send it back to me, and then, you know, I did whatever. Well, 9 days after I started with my goal card, which now I have a different goal, of course, and it's always with me. 9 days later, the place had been for sale for 7 years. 9 days later, the realtor called. She said there is a lady that is looking to buy your restaurant. She already looked at the place. She's been a client for a while without you knowing her intentions, and she's interested to buy. I said, oh my gosh, you know, 9 days. Well, anyway, we agree on everything else. And then it was a little bit long process to transfer liquor license, food license, and get inspected, and for her to get the cash. Well, anyway, we were able to sell it on February 11, 2020, just a few days before the pandemic was declared. And the deal, some of the deal was to spend 6 months teaching her how to do it. Well, I say, okay, I'm going to teach her how to do what I'm doing, because she bought the name, the recipes, and everything, and is still operating under that. And I said, but before that, I want to go to Florida. You know, I want to go see my daughter. I want to go see my grandkids. So she said, sure, no problem. So we came here, and that's when the pandemic was declared, and we got stuck here for 4 months. Well, what was my second goal? To live in Florida 6 months. So it was close.
Be careful what you ask for, right?
Yes. So I got so impressed that I called PGI, Proctor Gallagher Institute, and I said, you know, I want to specify, I want to restructure my commitment to you. I said, can we transfer the money I pay for the coaching into the coaching, become a coach? I said, I want to teach people, I want to become a consultant. I want to teach people how to do this. I want to teach people how to create what they want, how to discover what they want, and go about and achieve it. So the coach, my coach, he said, well, let me talk to the office and I'll get back with you. So he gets back with me, I think was the next day. He said, I guess they're gonna go for it. So we're gonna transfer that money into a down payment, and then you do so many payments, monthly payments, to become a consultant. So it was like, oh my gosh, my dream come true. And that's when the name came, Recipe for Success, Mindset and Freedom, because that's what it is. It's like there's so many people, they want this, they want that, they want this. But it's like it's for many people's wishful thinking. They don't understand it's a process, it's a mindset. It's how you put together the ingredients that you already have, because everything is in us. We just don't know the proper proportion. We just don't know the proper assembling of that recipe. We don't know the language. We don't know. We have to watch how we talk. We have to watch how we think. We don't say, when I do this. We don't say I'm going to try. So it's a process. That's why I decided to call the business in connection with we had the restaurant for 39 years, 1 month, and 11 days. So of course, I'm not going to get away from the recipe concoction thing, because that's an important aspect of any business, the structure. And especially with this, because you don't need anything other than what's already new to achieve what you want. And I love to help people. I love to, especially when they know they want something and they talk in the sense of in the future or someday or when I, and they don't realize that by doing that, they're getting farther away from what they want rather than getting closer and closer. And that's the vacuum pack.
That's you bring up some really excellent points. I mean, because I feel like I'm a master at manifesting, and I know when I speak my words, I'm speaking them into reality. But if you haven't done it before, you don't know what you don't know.
Absolutely. Because we're manifesting right now. I'm manifesting as I'm talking to you. I am in this frequency right now. I'm not in the frequency of when I go to Italy. Well, I'll go to Italy next month for 6 months, like I did the last 2 years. And I'm already in Florida for 6 months, and I bought the house in Florida. So I'm already manifesting everything out of the 6 things that I had on the list. I manifested all within 2 years. And we're manifesting all the time.
Oh yeah, I'm already manifesting what we're going to do in the future.
Exactly. Well, this is the future. This is everything we say is building that future. We're in this frequency right now. But a lot of people, like you said, if they don't know the process, and all they talk about is, when I retire, when my children get older, when I get my pension, when I win the lotto, when I do this, and it's getting them farther and farther away from what they want to achieve.
And I think one of the biggest mistake people get hung up on is the how.
Exactly. I don't know how. I mean, I didn't know how. Place was for sale for 7 years. Was listed and for sale for 7 years. And it was 9 days. I don't know how. I didn't know the woman. I have no clue who she was.
But there was a shift from those 7 years to after you took your training with the Proctor Group.
Yes.
That shifted something for you, that it changed in 9 days, right?
Absolutely. Because like you said, we don't know how the world, the universe is going to shift the deck of cards and the recipe cards to bring out that particular one that all I needed is that one buyer. And they would have given me, like Bob said, that everything was depending upon that number one sell at the restaurant. And then you buy the house you want, you do this, you move, no more cold winter. I mean, I still go to Michigan I go there for 10 days. I go there for a week. I don't have to drive in the ice for 4 months. I don't have to walk in the ice for 4 months. And now I'm having a big I want to have a big celebration for my birthday next month with my mom in Italy. My mom is 93. She lives in Italy. And I'm going to be 72. And I haven't not been there for my birthday since 1976. So I want to give her this gift of having her oldest daughter there
How
on her
beautiful.
birthday. Yes. Yes. I'm
So I
looking
want to
forward.
go back to help people understand that you had it on the market for 7 years. So what would you say? So you had to get yourself in alignment with what you really wanted. Not
It's
like a
process.
not like a fantasy or a wish or
Yeah,
I want someday,
exactly.
but now.
It's the language. It's the goal card, and it's the process. And then you start watching your thoughts, your action. The brain tells the mind tells the body knows which way to go and how to do it. How is none of our business. That's what Bob used to say. It's none of our business. We don't know where the information is coming from. The important thing is like I picture myself as, this merry-go-round for little children where you sit, you don't stand, you sit on the floor and you hang on really, really tight and the thing and the parents are spinning it fast. I visualize it in my mind as, sometimes when you're brave enough and you just want to jump. Well, each time you jump, depending how strong you are and how convinced you are, you're going to jump into the frequency. So you gotta be ready to jump on that frequency that you want as soon as you can. Because you know what I mean? Every time you go around and then you say, okay, I'm strong enough, I'm going to jump. I'm strong enough, I'm going to jump. But if you got to be ready to catch and jump on the one that you really want. And that's how I visualize myself, because we think in pictures. So in order to think in pictures, you have to see the picture in your mind of the goal achieved.
Well,
So
and for me, the icing on the cake, or what gives it fuel is feeling it as if it's so. So the thought creates it, but then I need to get in alignment with what's the feeling that goes with it has already happened.
Exactly. I remember when, I catch people saying, oh yeah, but I tried that and it didn't work. Wait a minute. I remember when I used to try that and didn't work, because now it does. So I make him aware of, you can catch yourself when you're using those negative words. Because those negative words are the ones that are keeping you away from what you want. And unfortunately, we've been programmed to think that way. So it's a process. You can't just wake up one day and say, I'm not talking that way anymore. Joe, when I do that, you see me, I'm not going to talk that way anymore. So it's like, it's an ongoing process, and there's no better way to make people aware with examples like that. I remember when.
And I think it's so powerful, and you're such a gift because you can provide support. So, because we don't know, we speak automatically, we speak from our subconscious, so we don't even hear what we say. So to have a coach or somebody to work with, they can like biofeedback. Did you hear what you just said?
Right. And it's this type of coaching is where you actually jump on part of my frequency by listening to the positivity of my language. You already get influenced by the excitement that I give to my recipe. Just wait until you taste it. Wait until you do it, because everything is in you. All I'm doing is I'm teaching you to use a screwdriver rather than take a hammer out of your toolbox. It's everything is in you. All I'm doing is showing you what tool to use to achieve what you want. And
That's
it,
beautiful.
I mean, I have men and women um, clients, but my trill is teaching people and coaching people like my age where they think, life is done. I never achieved what I wanted. And what for? Life is a bitch, and then you die. That is the best, the best satisfaction for me when, when people come back and say, oh my gosh, I thought that was it. And it's not, that was it. This is just the beginning.
Isn't that the truth?
It is the truth. And it is not something you don't need a tool for. You just need a real good adjustment of your toolbox. That's it.
That is so beautiful. I love this. So is there any final words of wisdom or something that you would like to share with the group before we go?
Well, of course, the number one thing is to live each day with intention. And in order to live each day with intention, you got to know where you want to go. Because if you don't know where you want to go and what's your intention when you get out of bed in the morning, what face you're going to put on before you leave the bedroom, you will never get there. You can't just jump on a plane and say, I want to go to France, and you end up in China. You just have to have that direction, that you have to give the direction in order to be able to achieve the destination you want. So be determined, be clear with yourself. What do I want? Who am I? What do I want? What am I here for? And now, can I get there?
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Liliana, for your time.
You're
And
welcome. Thank you.
you're welcome. And then in the top of this interview, we're going to put her contact information. So if you want to get a hold of Liliana and really work on manifesting what you really secretly, deeply, truly desire, it is possible, and she can help you get there.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.